guys, now that we're leading into summer, I feel like we see so many people, you know, doing a lot of things. Like everyone seems to be on vacation, everyone seems to be going out, having their best life, and I feel like there's a lot of fear of having a boring summer or not having anyone to do things with during summer, or at least for me this has always been a very common theme throughout my life. I would say, especially after I graduated from high school, which was in 2017, I didn't have anyone to do things with, and that was really a boring summer. So I thought I would share my experience with that summer, how I felt, how I was dealing with it, so that you maybe feel less alone when you're feeling the same way right now. And I also want to share some tips on what you can do to make the most out of your summer, have a good summer, even though you might not have a lot of people to hang out with, or maybe no one. So when I graduated from high school, I really didn't have a lot of friends because I wasn't friends with the girls in my class anymore. All my other friends at the time lived far away, so I couldn't hang out with them daily. I had a friend that lived here, but she was working all summer, so she didn't really have time. So I really didn't have anyone to hang out with on a daily basis. Also, at the time, I was still living at home, so with my mom and my brother, which was really not the ideal situation, because I feel like now the best thing is I can just be in my own apartment, you know. But back then I just had my tiny room and I was pretty much trapped into it, or I don't know, it was really horrible. I didn't really do anything all day. I watched a lot of TV. I remember I was watching so much Friends that summer. I was also watching a lot of YouTube in that summer because I feel like YouTube is so great for feeling less alone. And I really didn't do anything that summer. Like, honestly, I was pretty much home all day. But I feel like I was very young and I didn't know what to do and I was too scared to do things. I don't know. So yeah, maybe something I want to share, I'm not sure. During that summer, someone I know had a very bad accident and I didn't know how to deal with that. I was kind of like grieving, and it was a rough time. Not gonna lie, it was a rough time, and I didn't have anyone really to talk about it. You're not alone, okay? We're all going through things, so I know how you feel, and I know what it's like to be at home and pretty much feel miserable. So my tips on what I would do differently today: don't overuse social media. I know I said that I watch a lot of YouTube. I feel like YouTube for me is different because when I watch YouTube videos, I have more like, I don't know, like a connection with the person I'm watching. You know, it's more like hanging out with a friend. So YouTube always makes me feel less alone compared to especially Instagram. I feel like Instagram is the worst. TikTok depends on the day and the algorithm. Sometimes it makes me feel better, sometimes it makes me feel worse. TikTok has been there for me through very rough times, not gonna lie. You see all of these people, your friends or maybe influencers that you follow online, going out to parties, they're going out to restaurants, they're doing something with their friends, they are at events, they're on vacation, and you feel bad about yourself if you watch all of those people, because you know what, with social media it's like you do not watch one person's day, you watch like I don't know how many persons, is it a word, persons, people? Day, and suddenly it feels like everyone's on vacation, everyone's out, everyone's doing something. But social media is also like a bubble. It's the bubble that we live in, so obviously the people that you follow, you think this is the reality, but this is pretty much just your own bubble and your own world. And I promise you there are a lot of people not being on vacation, not being out and about and just sitting at home like you, watching someone's Instagram story. Especially social media is a highlight reel, so you don't even know if people are actually having a good time. I'm not saying that everyone's lying and every story is fake, that's not what I say, but you know, sometimes people post things that seem to be more fun than they actually are. I feel like going on vacation, like there's always this time, I feel like, especially on my Instagram, where everyone is on vacation and I'm like, I'm just sitting home doing nothing. My last real summer vacation was 2019, and I feel like it's so normalized to have a vacation every year, and I think it is great, but for me, I couldn't afford one the last few years, and I just want to assure you that that's fine if you cannot afford one. Not everyone's going on vacation, even though it seems like it, because you're on social media in your own bubble where everyone's going on vacation. A lot of people cannot afford a vacation and haven't been in years, so there's nothing to feel bad about if you're not going on any summer vacation this year. Also, Also, I feel like when I'm a lot, especially on Instagram, but also on TikTok, I do feel really bad afterwards. So I feel like if you're always on social media and over consuming your social media, you just feel worse about yourself. Also with social media, we automatically compare our lives to someone else's life. I do this myself, and it always steals my joy. Because they are living their life, I'm living my life, they're on their own journey and I'm on my journey. So I am jealous of someone going on this luxury vacation and comparing myself, being like, oh, why can I not afford that? And I feel like this is a really bad mindset to be in, because it's just not my time, you know? I can do maybe a luxury vacation in a couple of years. I don't know. Yeah, right now I don't have the money for it. That's really unfortunate. Especially also comparing your body. Like I just did this yesterday and I compared myself to someone else who looked completely different than I do. And it steals my joy. I feel bad afterwards because obviously I do not look like her. And that doesn't mean that I look less or anything, you know, but if you compare yourself, you're always stealing joy. Social media obviously can also be good for connection. I totally get that. I think you need to find somewhat of a balance between when it feels good and when it doesn't feel good. If you have no one to do things, you can make friends. And this tip is also for myself, because I recently realized that for the longest time I was like, I want to have more friends. I want to have more people to hang out with, where we have things in common. Maybe people that also live near to where I live and not so far away. I came to the conclusion that I don't actively do anything to find friends. It's the same with dating. If you do not actively go out and date people, how do you want to find a relationship or the love of your life if you're sitting at home on your couch all the time? I never tried this actually, but I heard of it, that you can on Bumble find friends, like not dating, but you can just make friends, which I think is so great. Or maybe I should try this, because I really would love to meet someone who likes going to the gym or who likes Taylor Swift probably. And maybe does something in social media. That would be amazing. You can talk to people when you are at the gym or at a coffee shop. I feel like for me this is a little bit hard, because I tried this a couple of times in law school and people are always very like, no thank you. But I feel like law school is also a very toxic environment to do that, because people don't want to get to know you. We're all competition. In law school it's competition, not making friends. And I feel like, and everyone always had their friend group anyways on that. I was like, how did they all make their friend groups? Like suddenly everyone had friend groups and I was like always on my own. I'm always very bad at making plans with the friends that I have, so I should also do that, because I cannot always complain that I do not have something to do if I never make any plans. So if you have thoughts and things that you wanna tell someone, talk about, and maybe you don't have anyone in your life, there are always like these help hotlines if you really wanna talk to someone, if it's really urgent, or maybe a therapist, maybe you can go to the doctor if it's like mental health or something, but just your general daily thoughts or whatever it is. Writing your thoughts down is so underrated. I love writing my thoughts down, because you're like, if I think them, it does make a difference if I write it down, but it always makes a difference. If you have a lot of things going on in your mind, write them down. You will feel so much better afterwards. If you're feeling bad, sad, whatever it is, write it down. If something's bothering you, write it down. You don't even have to use a sheet of paper. I personally love to do this on my MacBook, usually on my notes app. I have everything on my notes app. And I just write it down, because I feel like when I'm typing, I'm faster, and when I'm writing, like my hand hurts and I don't want to do it. So I always love typing, because then I feel like I'm also faster and I can keep up with my thoughts. Also something very underrated, and I say this in a lot of my videos, is going on a walk. You don't need a dog, but maybe you can also volunteer and walk other dogs or be a dog sitter. I feel like a lot of people are searching someone for their dog because they're at work, so maybe you have someone who needs to watch their dog, but you can also go on a walk on your own. I love walking. I have a dog and sometimes I dread walking. Is the light darker? I feel like it's about to start raining again. My camera overheated, I had to take a little break. Especially now where it's getting warmer, I love going on walks when you can just, you know, either wear a leggings, shorts with a cute crop top. I love it. And then I usually listen to a podcast or some music, and it helps so much with your mental health, because I feel like every time in the afternoon I get like my afternoon slump and I always feel so bad. I don't know what it is, but in the afternoon I'm like, suddenly I'm sad. So this is usually when I like to go on a walk, and I always feel so much better after that walk. So I highly recommend, if you're not going on regular walks, do it. It does so much for you. It makes you feel so much better. And also doing some exercise. I personally love going to the gym. I wish back in the day I would have signed up for the gym. I literally had all summer. I had nothing to do. And even if you don't talk to anyone at the gym, I feel like there are still people around. You know, there are always the same people at the same time when you're there, and then you start talking to some people. And I don't know, it's like a nice environment if you don't have anyone else to talk to pretty much. Or if you don't like the gym. I mean, I always thought I don't like it and now I love it, but you know, if you don't want to. You can also sign up for dancing classes or tennis or whatever exercise you like. This is also a great way to socialize and meet other people with similar interests in you. Finding some hobbies. Perfect time to do all the things you pretty much never have time to. Maybe you want to do painting, writing, learning an instrument, learning a new language. You can try out so many different recipes, learn how to cook, you can learn how to do your makeup or do your makeup differently, better, whatever. You can learn hairstyles. This is something I'm gonna do this summer because I really want to learn some hairstyles because I always have my hair straight and boring like this. Pretty much any hobby that you can think of, anything that you've ever wanted to do. Also, something to go outside and have a little bit of fun is taking some Insta photos. I like taking Insta photos on my own. I feel like it is always very intimidating before I do it. I just usually find a place where there are not a lot of people or pretty much no one around. I just take my tripod and my remote and take my Instagram photos, and it's fun. It's fun to get ready and take some photos of yourself. I don't know. And you can also visit family if you have anyone to visit. I wish I visited my grandma more often this summer because she has a huge garden and I could have just, you know, relaxed there, chilled, laying in the grass, talking to her, I don't know what. I feel like especially visiting your grandparents is nice because it's just such a different world, a different generation. It's so much calmer and I don't know, I always love it. So, yeah. And in general, you can do things on your own if you dare to do things on your own. You don't have to go to restaurants or whatever that makes you very uncomfortable, but you can just drive somewhere, drive to a different city maybe, drive to a beach or a lake, I don't know, I feel like these are a little bit less intimidating. Go to a coffee shop where you can sit around people, I don't know, bring your laptop or a book or whatever and just chill at a coffee shop to socialize a little bit, to see other people. I know what it's like to be isolated at home because I've been isolated at home even a lot before the whole lockdown in 2020, but also afterwards because I never had a lot of classes in law school and I just pretty much always locked myself up at home. And now, after all of these years, I can feel it. Now I'm like, I need to be around people sometimes. I needed to have more energy because when I'm home all the time, I get really, really sad and I get really, you know, I love my alone time, but I also need to go out. This is something that I've been learning about myself recently. Also, something in summer that is very nice is to go to a concert on your own. Going to a concert on your own is one of the best things I've ever done. It's really not intimidating at all because if you're waiting in line with other, so I was always waiting with people in line before, you know, the venue opened, and you meet people with the same music taste, like you like the same artists, and there was always something to talk about. This was such a unique experience to just, you know, sit there outside talking to other people with the same interests, being all day there, and this is really fun. If you have enough money to go to concerts or if you have any concerts in your area, I highly recommend doing that if you feel comfortable to do that. Going on vacation, going to restaurants, whatever, that's up to you. I personally have never done anything like that. I just drove to another city or went to a coffee shop. Like that's what I'm comfortable with doing on my own. The most important thing is to not beat yourself up or feel bad about yourself for having this summer. It is the way it is, you cannot change it. I just want you to know that there are so many people in the same situation that you are and you're never alone with it, even though it feels like it. This is a time to work on yourself, focus on yourself, learn how to be okay being alone, take the time to become a better person. I hope this made someone, at least one person in any sort of way, feel less alone. If you want to hang out with me during summer, I'm gonna be posting a lot on YouTube, but also my other socials. If you want to follow me, it's Kaity Jones everywhere. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any videos from me, and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. This would help me a lot. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!